everyone, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I'm your host, Dave.
And John.
JD is back.
Yes, JD is back and better than ever.
I'm okay.
Oh, okay. So how have you been, JD? You had a busy week last week?
Too busy. Too busy. Too busy. I still haven't watched those movies you guys reviewed. I'm busy.
You haven't watched Godzilla versus
I haven't had time. I'm just busy. Like I'm watching a Kickstarter. If you're listening this Wednesday, I'm watching it this upcoming Monday. So, ooh, John, now you look possessed.
No, I'm purple. Red is not doing it.
I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, launching a new Kickstarter for the next book on Monday. So I'm just spending time doing that, and then my responsibilities with Flecky Media have grown. So money's good, but it's a lot of time, man. It's a lot of time just getting stuff ready and writing, and it's just been a stressful couple weeks. We start wrestling season next Monday too. So
busy.
Yep.
Yes.
How's this?
Better.
That's yellow. I put yellow up.
Yeah. I think orange is what you want to balance out blue, but yellow was close enough that'll do it.
Okay. I'll throw orange up next and we'll see. By the way, okay, so it's my turn. So JD, I've got another one for you. I've got another one. Ready? Ready? So like on the heels, so that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Mm-hmm.
That time I got reincarnated as slime just ended season 3, I mean, and they've replaced it with the Slime Diaries, but hot on the heels is a brand new contender for spring anime, and the title is, and you're gonna love this, I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level.
Wow. That's a pitch.
I know, right? I think they're going to get to the point where like the title of these light novels is just going to be the first paragraph.
That's crazy. Something's clearly lost in the translation, but
yeah,
I'm sure
that's a thing, man.
So that's what you've been doing is watching that all week?
No.
No.
I've been actually I spent the week coding, so but that's I don't know, searching for something interesting on TV, catching up on some reading, nothing really interesting per se.
I just read a book last night that I finished. Yeah. I'm not going to name the name of the writer because I do like the writer, but he's a thriller writer who wrote a mystery novel, and you get to the end of the mystery, right? And this frustrated me so much. Like, it was a nice little twist, and then you get to the very end, and there's like a break of 2 months from the end of the trial to when he confronts the real killer. And then he goes like, this isn't your real name. Your real name is such and such and such and such. And you had an affair with this person. I'm reading this, I'm like, you didn't tell us any of this information. Like, there's no way we as the audience could have known any of this going ahead. And you're not even telling us how you found this out. It's just a pure exposition dump within the last 20 pages. I was so just disheartened by the entire process.
Huh. So he pulled a DC Lex Luthor, right? A DCU Lex Luthor. Just off screen, somehow he found out who Batman and Superman was. Never gave us any indication of why or how.
Yeah, and characters, like, it was so. And I'm not saying I'm the greatest writer, I know what I'm doing, but it's just like, as a reader, I was really into this book too, and I was so just let down in the last 20 pages. It just like kind of like it really soured me on reading this series again.
You were kind of waiting for the like, oh yeah, I remember like 3 chapters ago he mentioned this and that makes sense, and like that.
All I want is from a mystery is to be as well plotted and make as much logical sense as an episode of Columbo.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I mean, like, that's the template is there. Follow the template. And I get you don't want to, like, you want to keep people guessing, but I mean, like, if I don't see it, I mean, like, if I didn't see it coming and the pieces are there, I'm like, oh, you got me. But if
Mhm.
I didn't see it coming because you didn't tell me any of this stuff,
Then that's not
Right,
a
Like-
mystery. Yeah.
right? That's just you're cheating.
Yeah.
So yeah, that soured me. I was reading that last night before bed, and then I was pacing the house for like an hour. I was so frustrated by it.
I get it.
That's a
I get it.
passionate reader.
I would have gone
I
with
like reading.
Monk, not Columbo, but because
Never seen an episode of Monk, and I really like Columbo.
you would like Monk.
I've heard good things about it for years. I just never saw it.
Yeah. The only problem is,
What?
well, with your time schedule, the only
You can
problem.
spoil the show. I'm probably not going to watch it.
Yeah, the problem being that they ended it really quick and they didn't never address certain things during that had been brought up during the entire rest of the series.
Yeah.
And the ending was kind of not a it was disappointing. It was still good, but it was disappointing, you know?
Yeah.
Like there were a lot of hints dropped as to who his wife's real killer was. And like to the point of like they even showed a guy with 6 fingers at one point.
Yep.
Yes, the 6-fingered man, you know, also here from
Rugged.
yeah. So but then it just that was never explained. So
Nope.
I wonder if it was canceled.
it was canceled, but they had enough time. I don't know
Hmm.
what happened. Well, it might have been because the original writers were off by then, and I don't know.
That
there
happens
was-
a lot when you get a new showrunner on and they're just not kind of on board with what you've got
And that was
planned.
also like in the middle of the strike as well.
Hmm.
The writer's
Oh, the writer's strike. That can screw a lot of things
Oh,
up.
I do have one thing to show you. See these? See that?
Drugs?
strike.
No, these are real lime Skittles, original
Oh.
lime Skittles. Do
How
know
did you
much-
procure
Why-
these?
Do you
why-
have any idea how much those are worth on the street?
$3.
Actually, a lot more. If you go onto eBay, they're selling pound bags for like $1,000.
Hey, if you pay $1,000 for a thing of candy, you're an idiot.
True.
Why
they're
pray
lime
tell
Skittles.
does how did you come into contact with said Skittles?
I was cleaning out I spent the weekend coding, but I was also finally cleaning out my garage. And I found a bag that I had bought that was still good, sitting in one of the boxes that I had next to some really old crackers. The Skittles are good, the crackers not so much.
I wouldn't eat the crackers.
No.
I don't know if I would eat the Skittles.
But the expiration date is only like a couple of months ago. They're pure sugar. They don't like go bad. So what?
I was
Stop.
coughing. I was coughing.
Oh, okay.
I was trying- I had the- I
With
had
the
the
sound
cough
off, it
button.
looked like you were.
Yeah, I can see that.
gagging.
I can see it. No, I got
The sound off, it looked like you were making fun of it.
I got a hair in my throat as I try to play with my light. I got a I just got a reflector, and I'm trying to use that to like light my face this week to get rid of these shadows. And I think I'm making things worse. But I'm going to continue playing because I'm a tweaker.
Or a twerker.
No, I haven't worked in years.
Yeah, that's what a restraining order will happen. That's what happens when you get a restraining order.
I tried to tell. I
Oh.
tried to explain where I was coming from, and they didn't care. So, Dave, how are you? What'd I miss?
Yeah.
I'm all right. Oh God, I've been busy as well this week. Of course, everyone knows our show got out late last week. There's no video up on YouTube for it.
I was busy. My week schedule was thrown off.
Yeah, so we didn't record till Wednesday, and then had to get it out Thursday, and then I was really busy Friday. Good things are happening, but I don't want to jinx anything. I kind of talked about it last week a little bit. As you sneak a line still into your mouth.
Oh.
But
What were you saying?
but good things for my career. I'll just say
Oh,
that.
good for you.
And then but yeah, so that's been actually keeping me quite busy. And then yeah, I got nothing else. Really, yeah, just keeping busy. I haven't even really watched anything. Trying to get caught up on Flash. I'm behind on that.
Oh, I'm
Uh,
behind on all of those.
but I'm not behind on Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I thought you were going to say Falcon Crest for some reason. I don't know why that was in my head.
Falcon Crest.
That was like I think it was like Knots Landing and
80s,
Dallas.
Ah,
Those
yeah,
Ailey's
it
night
rings a
80s,
bell, but
yeah, 80s nighttime soap operas that I never watched because I was too young, but it's in
yeah.
my head. It's burrowed into my subconscious for some reason.
Are we all caught up on Falcon and Winter Soldier?
We
Oh
are.
yeah, and
Yes.
eagerly waiting to see what they're supposed to be. Well, in the reports say that there's going to be a special character.
Yeah, I was going to get to that in a minute, but what did we think of the latest episode?
The
Um, the
the
world was
shit hit
watching.
the shit hit the fan.
Well, at least the blood did.
He decapitated a man with the shield.
Yeah. Did he actually decapitate him?
It's kind of this the vibe I got.
I figure either decapitation or crushed his entire chest.
Yeah.
The trajectory of the blood circle leads me to believe that the head was severed
Yeah,
from
Yeah.
the neck while he was begging not to be murdered. So
Yes.
that's not a Steve Rogers thing.
that's the whole point of the show is there can only be one Steve Rogers,
right. Exactly. That definitely is the point of the show at this point.
much like the Highlander.
I think it's interesting that
Yeah.
I Battlestar. I kind of felt he was cannon fodder, but I was shocked how quickly he got killed.
He it turns out he was John Walker's moral compass.
Yes, that was the whole point, and then he lost it when he was killed,
Mm-hmm.
and he murdered someone. Now, is that cold blood?
Yes, that's the definition of cold blood.
Mm-hmm.
When someone says no, please, and you say I think you, and then you drop the shield on their throat. Yes.
Especially when being filmed by at least 50 different people. Yeah, in front of a crowd.
Now, there's actually a scene in the comics that is kind of like that, where Walker kills someone, but then Battlestar's with him and comes up and is like, they're talking about it. He's like, he had it coming. He's like, no, I lost it. Blah blah. I shouldn't have done that. So, and this is like the reverse of that.
Yeah, I kind of like this better, right? Like this shows that Walker really couldn't handle the pressure of being Captain America.
Right.
You're right, and like because he took the drugs and then he killed the peoples.
And they're like the idea is that, I mean, even though it's not Erskine's original formula, it's still a variance of it that basically brings out more of what you are, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't give you the big bulgy muscles and all that and all, but it still like augments you. And
it's funny because they talk about how he got his medals.
Yeah.
And it sure sounds like he got his medals just by executing a bunch of people.
Yeah.
You know? And that is not a Steve Rogers move.
No.
Yeah. And well, they mentioned Steve Rogers, was it he laid down on a grenade, right? And he said, oh yeah, well, I did it too, with my helmet because it's got padding everything. It's like no, Steve Rogers went down on the grenade knowing he was going to die and hoping to help to save other people.
And that is that's a funny line, but such a great character moment too.
Yeah.
Right? Because Steve Rogers didn't think twice. And John Walker thought of, well, how can I do this what way can I do this to, help us and not put myself in danger?
Right.
And it's really well written show. And this is what I really like about it is how gray everything is. Right? Like
not DC gray.
It's a little less, to be frank, it's a little more desaturated than anything else Marvel's done as far as the color palette goes. It's not quite,
Yeah.
we're not quite DC, but I mean, like, for Marvel, there's less color than normal, which makes sense. But like everyone, with the exception of Sam Wilson, is on that shade of grayscale, right? And they had a nice moment too, where they asked Sam, "Hey, would you take the serum?" No, he didn't think twice to say no.
Right.
But then, Battlestar's like, "Yeah, I would do it." And then, of course, which is just what John Walker wants to hear, because of course he wants to do it. So everyone is sort of between hero and villain. Even Zemo's, they even say Zemo's been pulling his worth, working for the Angels on this one.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to me how no one besides Sam Wilson is a true hero or true villain.
Well, I'd say the Winter Soldier is like he's doing.
He's a murderer. He's a mass murderer.
Yes.
His
Well,
whole
he
his
is
whole his whole arc is dealing with the trauma of the fact that he's not a good person.
true. Well, he wasn't a good person, but also because he was being mind controlled.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have to live with that trauma, right? And he's
right.
living.
Well, yeah, he's trying to find his balance now, right?
Right.
He's trying to find out who he is now, and he's worried that he is the killer that
with
the mind.
Right.
correct, which puts him into that. So he's not squeaky clean either.
Right.
True, but he's still better than he's still better than the new Captain America.
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
by
Right.
far.
But I mean that line from the third episode, I think it was, when Bucky's like, "Well, what if Cap was wrong about me, or what if Steve was wrong about me?" Like that is his arc. Yeah. Like,
Yep.
It summed up. Yeah, and then I can't think of her name. The
Agent 13.
no, not Agent 13.
Carly,
What?
Carly
Carly.
Morgenthau, Flag Smasher.
No. The Wakanda.
Oh, Okoye.
Yeah.
Yes. That was a very interesting. I mean, we knew she was going to be in it. We knew they were going to be in it from the end of episode 3. But it was like, oh, okay. They would have. I'm trying to figure out. Well, because
they definitely want Zemo. I mean,
they want Zemo because he killed
King T'Chaka.
Yes.
King T'Chaka, excuse me.
Yep.
Yes, King T'Chaka. So, but then, like, when Zemo escaped, they kind of just left. So it was like,
well, they're probably going to find. I mean,
they're looking for him,
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
Like, that's not going to end. Boy, what a great sequence too, where the Dora beat up John Walker and they really humble him.
Not
Yes.
well,
Right.
not humble. They basically broke him.
Yeah, humiliate, I guess, is the better term.
Yeah, he would. Well, because in his own mind, right? Because Steve Rogers would have gotten up and said, "Wow, good fight. Maybe we should train." He'd basically pull a Goku. Whereas John Walker is so disturbed that he just like took it as a complete insult, like he's dog shit. And I'm sure he walked right out of there and just hit himself right up with the serum right after that.
yes,
Because he can't handle it. He can't handle it.
Can't handle the pressure of being Captain America. He's not man enough to be with Steve Rogers. Which, to be frank, nobody is. I mean, again, that's the whole point of the show, is that nobody is Steve Rogers.
yeah,
Yeah, even Zemo said that. Like, even he agreed. Well, yeah, he's the one guy that wasn't corrupted, but how many of those are around?
Yeah, and he's right too. I get big Hannibal Lecter vibes off of Zemo on this show.
Especially when he was with the kids, with the Turkish delight.
Yes, is there anything creepier than a German man singing "Blah Blah Black Sheep," handing out candy?
No, there
Is
isn't.
creepy.
Yeah,
So,
smart.
Oh,
Very
yes.
incredibly smart.
Yes. So, as was Hannibal Lecter.
Yes.
this is true. Yes, and it's funny too. Now, here's a question. This goes. We talk about toxic fandom on the show a lot. So, of course, you keep seeing the memes on Facebook and whatnot, where it's like, everyone loves Zemo. What's wrong with the country or with the world? Everyone loves Zemo and hates Captain America.
That's the point.
Right.
That's on purpose.
But apparently, I've heard stories where like the actor who plays John Walker, um, like people have been giving him threats and stuff on social media.
That is not accurate. He does not have one. He does not have social media.
Okay.
So these are stories that have been concocted and blown out.
all right.
Right. You know, and this is a man that is prepared. Do we know do we know who's playing John Walker? You guys aware of this?
It's
Wyatt Russell,
Yes.
Kurt Russell,
Right.
and Goldie
Russell.
Hawn's kid.
Yes.
Looks nothing like his parents, but like this is someone who's prepared for this stuff. So, and he doesn't have a Facebook. He doesn't have a Twitter.
Okay.
You know, mom and dad have raised him to be smarter than that. So yeah, it's all cockamamie bull.
He'd have
Okay.
to be smarter than that, considering.
Considering.
Well,
Considering
no,
what?
just considering like his famous parents and everything.
Oh,
he'd probably.
Yeah, so this kid is and his sister and like this kid was raised. Kid, he's like 34. This dude was raised to, you know, have this life. So I mean, he gets it.
Okay. All right. Because I'll be like, just because, like, what would you have? Like, he's an actor playing a role. He's not.
Right.
He's not taking
Right. He's
Captain
the bad guy.
America's- Right.
There's people like there's always people like that though.
Well, stupid people, and they like to congregate on social media. Like Reddit is a good place for idiots.
Mhm.
Twitter brings out the worst of the worst. Hey, we have never mind. Facebook, not very good either. I find I like TikTok.
You like
friend of mine,
TikTok?
a friend of mine has shown me TikTok. I bought this griddle, this like Blackstone griddle. It's like a grill, but a griddle top. I've fallen in love with this thing, and they have a whole TikTok has this whole page dedicated to like these cooking videos, and I'm like, I thought this was just stupid
Oh.
dancing. This is incredible. Yeah,
Hmm.
see, it's awesome. So like, you know, you just have to massage your social media, and you too can avoid idiots.
Should I be concerned for you?
Concerned that I'm cooking for my family? No,
No.
you should be praising me.
there
But you're-
there is
that
some
you're on
good stuff,
TikTok.
but no,
No, I
there's
don't have
good-
one. I just someone showed it to me. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
and I
haven't
wouldn't
manned up to get it.
and I wouldn't go on it either. I mean, but there are some good. I just recently, because I like the game Among Us, I just found a group of kids that do Among Us videos, and they're hysterical, and they're on TikTok too. So
TikTok is where the kids are.
Ah,
apparently,
that's why we're not on it.
Yes.
so we know what we're doing this week, right?
So apparently, yes, now the showrunner for Falcon and Winter Soldier has said that in episode 5, they're going to be introducing a character who is a important character in the comic books, but hasn't been in the MCU yet.
Mephisto.
Well, it is Mephisto and the Winter Mephisto. So
I'm sorry. I saw that. I saw that on the email, and I had been sitting on that joke for about 5 hours. I have no idea. I have no idea what this means. Like, that is so vague.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Wolverine. Like, what am I supposed to think?
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I'm trying to think of like the events of episode 4. What could they lead into? I mean, it's funny because I misread it when it was like somebody who hasn't been in the MCU yet. I thought it was somebody. I thought it said somebody people know, but they've seen, but hasn't been in the MCU yet, but has been in like something else. And I was thinking, oh, maybe John Walker's going to go on trial, and Matt Murdock's going to be his lawyer.
or maybe maybe what's
Be a
his name?
military
Howard,
tribunal.
maybe Howard the Duck.
We have seen Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck has
Duck
been in the
has-
MCU.
Oh
been in the
damn! So he
MCU.
can't even.
He was in Guardians. I don't think Matt Murdock could be his lawyer because it'd be a military thing.
Yeah.
So, you know,
No, it
and
would have to be someone Captain America related. That's actually what I've really been thinking.
yeah, who haven't we seen? That's like super cap character.
And
Like-
somebody that would be well known. Like they said, it
Yeah.
wasn't like a really side character. They say it was
Well, because they
Personally.
throw like side characters at us all the time without giving us any kind of warning.
That's true.
Like we
And-
got the second Falcon, and no one said nothing about that.
Yeah, and we got.
I have no idea. I mean, what big character have we not seen yet besides like, people that, people you wouldn't bring in at this point, like Mad Murdock or Sentry or, just like
Jen Walters,
John Walters.
Jennifer Walters,
Oh.
She-Hulk.
Oh.
I want to gift John's reactions when he was putting it together in his head.
Oh. I
Oh.
mean, no, seriously,
Oh.
because that would be, it would be a good tie-in,
Oh.
right?
They're bearing something, so I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibility.
And we know, well, yeah. And even if it's not Murdoch is going to be in No Way Home. So
Yeah, we got Murdoch coming. I don't know. I literally don't know who this person could be. Because who are we missing? Because we've got
Shang-Chi?
every. Maybe. I think have they announced who's playing Shang-Chi yet? I forget. I think we have him, right? Shang-Chi doesn't fit.
No,
I mean,
no.
they're not going to I don't think they would waste this to just throw somebody at it to never see them again. Like they might bring us somebody who is in a
Jennifer
property
Walters
that they're
doesn't
currently
fit
developing,
either.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't think She-Hulk fits either.
She's a lawyer. I mean, if he does get arrested, I don't know. Would he get arrested? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
it'd
he wouldn't be
military-
arrested. He's got strings he can pull, right?
So who? Okay. So we got
Name
okay.
more.
I don't know. Like, I mean,
So it's got to let's read it. Let's look logically. It's got to be somebody who's, like you said, Cap adjacent or U.S. military adjacent.
Right.
Nomad.
What?
what?
So Captain America adjacent character.
Isn't
I'm throwing shit at the wall, man. I got no ideas.
MODOK.
But
Murdoch
the
was a
cartoon one.
Cartoon. Patton Oswalt could play a MCU version of MODOK. That would not be a terrible move.
Jack Flag.
Well, yeah, no. I don't know.
So it's got to be some. It can't be anybody that plays like a major role because we only have 2 hours left in the show, and they're
Right.
not going to introduce anybody like major to the plot at this point. So it's got to be.
It's got to be a cross promotional thing. It has to be.
What's coming
can't-
next?
Yeah. So that's the thing. I can't see it not being cross promotional at this point. They're not
So
going
but what's coming next?
Taskmaster.
to.
Taskmaster would be interesting. Have we? He's going to be in Black Widow,
Black
right?
Widow.
Maybe. But does that count as his MCU debut? I don't know. Because it's cheating. Because he was supposed to debut. So I don't know, man. They've actually kind of got me going here.
Fantastic Four.
Reed Richards.
No.
No, I was kidding about Reed Richards.
No,
I'm
I
going
think it's too big for the cameo in episode 6.
Well, it
Episode
would
5.
like there is on the schedule a Marvel Fantastic Four movie. There's no date. This would be the perfect cross promotional thing to say, hey, guess what?
Well, you know,
But,
John Waters is directing it. He's still finishing up Spider-Man right now.
Yeah.
They're not going to do anything
Right.
without him. They're going to let him make the first move, but anyone
And,
can.
and
That's related.
what was the other thing he said in the article? It was about the actor too.
What, Krasinski? I don't know.
Well,
Who you
They
talking-
they haven't cast anybody yet.
No, I'm saying the showrunner was saying, it's a fairly known actor, I think, playing this character.
The fact that nobody knows at this point, and what is it? Episode 5 comes out Friday, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, man, how powerful are the Disney Marvel Ninja lawyers that nobody has leaked it completely? Like, I'm doing a search now and I'm not seeing anything. It's all speculation.
Right.
That's some really good lawyering there.
Oh, actually, no, it doesn't say the actor. It says the character is grounded, whatever
Mhm.
that means.
So Henry Peter Gyrick,
Duh.
the guy who always worked for the government, like undermine the Avengers in the
Yeah.
comics.
Squirrel Girl.
I'm okay with that.
I would be fine with that
I don't
too.
think that's grounded.
I would love that though.
D-Man.
Man. Do I want to ask what that one is?
He's got an old Daredevil suit and Wolverine helmet, and he's a kind of a dork character. It's kind of his
Yeah.
gimmick.
Yeah.
Intentionally a dork character.
That's like
I mean,
I
it
got
just-
nothing.
I mean,
I got
yeah,
nothing.
the
it could be the
Spectacular
wizard.
Spider-Kid.
Who the wizard could? It could be the wizard. We have no idea.
The Wonderful Wizard?
No, the wizard. The wizard.
Oh, the Wizard.
Wizard. Yeah.
The Spectacular Spider-Kid.
Mayday?
Mayday.
Mayday Parker. That's spectacular. Oh, Spider Girl.
That's Spider-Girl. No, Spider-Kid. He was like
Who's Spider Kid?
in the 80s. It was a kid who idolized.
Oh, the
Spider-Man.
kid who loved Spider Man. Yeah. The kid that died. Okay, that's a good story actually. Yeah. These guesses all suck.
Yeah.
I have
know,
no
I
idea.
know.
Yeah.
No
Let's.
idea. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below.
Can't be
Or
any
if we're
worse.
on Twitter.
Can't be any worse than what we guessed.
No,
Hmm.
no. Not
Magneto.
at all.
yeah.
You are so determined for it to be Magneto.
I'm gonna will that into existence.
All right. I think on that note, maybe we'll take our first commercial break and we'll be right back. All right, boys and girls.
It's harder to spend as much time talking about Falcon Winter Soldier because everything is pretty much there.
I
And there's
know.
not a lot of room to like, well, maybe it's this and it isn't.
Yeah.
So it's easier to keep focused on this one.
Yes.
WandaVision was like perfect for just sitting there and like throwing crap at a wall.
Oh, a lot of crapping on that show.
Yeah.
So we got a little social media madness to talk about.
Oh. I'm sorry. It's in the throat here.
Yay! Social media madness. All right.
So obviously, we talked about the new Black Widow trailer last week, and our good friend Timothy Jones chimed in, said, "I am super psyched for this. The new trailer reveals even more cool stuff. On a side note, why was no one ever said to Black Widow, my condolences?"
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Grapes. Sour grapes. Available in finer newspapers.
Because she's a widow. Oh, I get it.
Yeah. she's a widow.
Didn't
She's a
take
widow.
it. Didn't take
Yeah.
it too long.
She's a widow. Yes. Tim, even for you, that's bad.
It's par for course for him, but still bad.
It is par for the course, but yeah.
Of course, we also talked about Adam Wingard, who is the director of Godzilla vs. Kong, which some people haven't seen yet.
Nope.
Um,
Waiting.
has been tapped to direct the live-action Thundercats movie that we've been promised for decades. now.
Decades, yes.
To which Random Randy Savage from the Cult 45 podcast said, "Is there an amazing storyline that with this show? Because I don't get the appeal. I'm also not a cat person, so so that might be it too."
Thundercats good cartoon.
It
The
is.
the current, like, it is kind of dated if you like go back and watch it now.
Well, yeah.
But there are still some storylines from the original run that would hold up even today. There were some pretty interesting storylines, you know.
That 2010, 2011 reboot was really good and had a lot of potential. It skewed way too old because I was watching it and they wanted 9-year-olds to be watching it.
Yeah. Yes.
But it was a good show.
I don't know. The last few episodes, I think they kind of reversed that and skewed all young and not
Well, that's
old enough. I mean,
So, but-
especially
The 2010 reboot, not the current one.
No,
Uh,
the 2010 reboot, like the one episode where they had the people that aged, aged their entire lives in one day. It's
I
like,
don't remember that one.
yeah. So
I
eh, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, like there are some good storyline. There's a reason why like nostalgia is strong with this one. So
well,
it's just, and we know it can be done. Like there were really good episodes in the 2010 reboot that JD keeps alluding to that, like it's got so much potential. And just, we haven't seen anybody do it right yet. And
yeah.
like the Fantastic Four, we're not very hopeful to ever see
Well,
somebody do right by it.
Peter DeViblis, DeVilbus,
Peter
uh,
D.
Peter D
Mhm.
said, "All right," so he's excited. And then Shadow Walker said, "I just don't want Thundercats movie to turn out like Transformers and Ninja Turtles did, with
Well,
none looking as they should."
keep Michael Bay away.
Yes, exactly.
That's the advice.
Yeah.
That's the secret. No Michael Bay, and you're fine.
I think the Marvel movies have saved stuff like this because, like, 2007, Transformers was acceptable, and then Iron Man came along and kind of changed the game and what people expect from these, from these things. So I think you have to have a higher level of. I think people need even from Thundercats. I think people want a higher level.
It goes back to, the X-Men movie, the first X-Men movie, when they're all on the jet and they have the black costumes on, and someone's like, "Oh, what do you want? Blue spandex?" Making a joke to the original costumes, but it's like, then Marvel came along and said, "Hey, guess what? Here's an Iron Man suit. We made it work. Oh, here's Captain America in his costume. We made it work."
Hey, those costumes look pretty good in First Class.
Yeah.
When they actually did do the blue spandex. So
yeah.
Jokes on Bryan Singer. Actually, a lot of jokes on Bryan Singer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on if this thing's ever going to happen. I wonder if it has a more serious tone, or if they go the route of the Thundercats Roar that is on TV now that kids seem to like. It depends on who they want. Do they want guys like us, or do they want to appeal to little kids? Which I'm fine if they want to do that. I'm curious as to which way they go.
Why can't they make a family movie that appeals to everyone?
Those don't exist.
It's not. That's
Yes,
extremely hard, if not, but like, Avatar is the closest I can see that would like get both kids and adults. But
the Cameron movie?
No, not the Cameron movie. Not the Last Airbender.
Oh, okay. The Cameron movie is the most money-making movie of all time that nobody ever saw for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like JD said, it's near impossible to strike that kind of a balance, except for Looney Tunes. The original Looney Tunes. Where half of it goes over the kids' heads and hits the adults right in the face.
I don't know. I think there are family movies. You just
It's easier to skew them toward kids or skew them older than to hit that sweet spot. It's hard. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's just tricky to hit it.
Yeah, it's easier with humor, right? Because like Animaniacs and Looney Tunes and all that, but it's much harder with drama.
Yeah.
Spielberg figured it out, and nobody else I can think of other than him.
Yeah.
Are you talking about E.T.?
E.T. Well, I'm talking about half his catalog.
Yeah.
Like, Back to the Future. That's a movie anyone can watch and enjoy. Star Wars, anyone can watch and enjoy.
True.
But it's like those movies are special. You don't get them all the time.
Yeah.
They're harder to make now. Finding that right tone, especially I think we're a little more cynical now, so it's tricky.
This is true. So, speaking of cynicism instead of humor, anyway, so not too long ago we spoke about Invincible over on Amazon Prime.
Oh my God! Is by the end of this run, are they going to are you not going to be able to see the title card anymore for all the blood? Like they'll just have blood. just rivers of blood over the title card. It's like, wow.
And I believe we have someone new who wants to give Tim Jones a
Oh,
run for
no.
his money.
Who?
David Davidson said, "I don't understand why they call him invincible when everyone can clearly see him."
What?
It's invincible.
Yes, I get it.
I'd like to know when he starts living up to that bit, because so far he's gotten his ass kicked every time.
But he doesn't die.
True.
And it's part of the-
no. In
it's
this
a
one, he
pun.
should have died. He
It's a
should have-
pun too. The joke, I'm invincible, and then he gets his ass handed to him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That like it's the pun. It's a gag.
That they're really punishing him for.
Yes, it goes beyond gag and becomes disturbing at parts. I haven't watched past the third episode yet, but I just knowing where things go for me in the books gets darker.
Ah, that's not good.
Yeah,
I
it
don't know.
is getting hard to watch a little bit.
They do a good, as long as they say it's a comic, like the characters are so intriguing and sympathetic that it does keep you coming back. Like, because you like Mark, right? You like his mom, and you like
Yeah.
the team, so you come back. Eve's great. You
But
know,
we
they
want
kinda,
to we want to see
yeah.
some of them win, though, right?
they do. They
I
win,
mean, just
but not a lot.
So
but you're right about Eve too.
He's
Yeah.
great. He's great. He's one of the best characters. He might be the best character on the show.
And then what's this guy? The explodey guy. Like, I really want
Rexplode.
to. I want to see him get hurt. I'm sorry. He's one of the ones I want to see get hurt.
Yeah, he's a dick, but he's really good at being a dick.
This is true.
that's his job.
Mm-hmm.
So and lastly on Social Media Madness, last week when Don was filling in for you, we talked about Falcon Winter Soldier, and he mentioned the Zemo dancing scene, and he made a joke about wanting to release the Zemo cut because apparently the dancing, what they recorded was much longer than what they showed in the episode. And then of course he tweeted at us, they did use the more full-length scene as a promo for the show. So yeah, that's available over on. You can see it on Screen Rant. I believe it's on YouTube as well on the Marvel channel.
It's almost hypnotic.
But there's also a new Twitter account, Zemo Dancing 2.
Oh boy.
At Zemo Dancing 2. And they took the clip of him dancing, with him moving his arm around like this,
A lot of people have done this.
and they will put it to music. Any song you request. If you message them and request a song, they will make the video and tweet it out and tag you in it.
That's awesome.
This is what social media gives us, people.
I mean, there's a 1 hour looping version of him dancing, that Marvel put out.
Yeah. We have problems.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on that note, there is no update for Nerd Madness this week because I've been so busy. I didn't put anything out.
We'll finish in May.
So it's a bye week.
No worries, man.
So
COVID times.
if you would like to be a part of Social Media Madness, here's our good friend D Squared to tell you more.
Want to be part of Social Media Madness? Make sure you're following superheroespeak.com, where you can find all of the social media links for the show at the top of the page. While you're there, check out previous episodes of the podcast as well as other great content. And check the site often because we are posting great comic book reviews as well as other comic book and movie content every day. Make sure you are following us on Twitter at SuperheroSpeak. And while you're there, check out the rest of the Geek World All Stars Podcast Network. Simply follow them at @star_geek. The Geek World All Star Podcast Network include great programs such as the Pop Prism Power Podcast, Colt 45, So Wizard, Fans on Patrol, the Gorilla Brain Podcast, and of course, Superhero Speak. Search for GW All Stars, you will not be disappointed. Now it's back to Dave and the boys on Superhero Speak.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that, Don. And don't forget to check out the Omega Level Nerds podcast, available on YouTube and wherever podcasts are available.
We're laughing because we had technical difficulties that Dave is going to remember to cut out before he releases this.
Oh no, that's the best part.
Release the O'Grady cut.
Gravy cut.
Oh, that meme is going to live a very long and unhappy life.
That might be the name of the episode.
Ooh, I like it. Yes.
But on that note, boys and girls, we're going to take our next commercial break. We'll be right back. Oh, John, you are the O'Grady cut.
The O'Grady cut is 4 hours long, but only 2 hours of it play in real time.
I'm the O'Grady cut up, Dave. There's a difference.
Okay.
So, when do you want to fit in Nevers here?
Well, you since you watched the show and you brought the article to my attention, John, why don't you start off the news this week?
Oh gods, I have to lead.
Yes.
No. JD, did you hear about the Nevers? Okay.
I know nothing.
New show on HBO Max.
Is it the Whedon show?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know it's a Whedon show.
Yeah. Well, it was a Whedon show. Whedon has quote unquote stepped away.
Fired his ass.
I don't think he got fired. I think he actually, I think he got pushed probably.
But fired. I mean, like, let's be real. No one leaves a job to make money for a job to not make money.
Right, exactly.
True. So, yeah,
Fired his ass.
he's left because of quote unquote reasons, which I'm sure everybody can guess. And yeah, so the first episode aired, and it was really, really good. And I'm just wondering how much of Whedon, how much of it was written by Whedon before he stepped away. I'm pretty sure most of it now that
I bet a good chunk of it. Like,
Yeah.
remember when Daredevil came on? Tonight did a lot of that stuff was from him. So
yeah, but
what's the show about?
Basically it's was it early 1890s, and a spaceship basically passes over London, disintegrates, all these sparkly lights fall down on people, and it seems like only some of the population can actually saw the ship, and the lights get absorbed by some people, and those people gain powers, and then the entire population forgets that it ever happened. All they know is that from that date forward, people with powers started appearing.
Sounds like a J.J. Abrams.
I know. Yeah,
It's
it's an interesting premise, and like after the first, I mean, it's really good. Like there's the people that they picked for the leads. So Laura Donnelly and Ann Skelly, they're really intense and kind of fun in this. But the powers.
Does it take place in the 1890s, or is this does it take place modern day? We just have.
Oh, it's placed in the 1890s.
Okay.
And like the character that Ann Skelly plays, Penance Adair, can see electricity, and so she invents all this stuff. So
Penance Adair, what a name!
Yeah, I know, right? Penance Adair, and Laura Donnelly is Amalia True. So yeah, good naming too.
Yeah, Queen's fingerprints are all over this, by the way.
Oh
Continue.
yeah.
Oh yeah, they are.
Like they're all over.
I mean the dialogue is pretty snappy. It's, but he's been forced to step away. I'm not sure if that'll make this better or worse. I'm not sure how I mean, considering all
Well,
the stuff that's coming out about him, I don't know how I feel about any of this right now.
I'm curious because I've never worked in a writer's room before, but
How much of it is his and how much of it is the other writers? Is that what you're thinking?
I mean,
Not
usually
all-
when you have a writer's room, like you have a bunch of people contributing ideas, but like a different writer will write an episode. And typically the pilot is written by the showrunner.
Yeah.
So
right.
there's a 90% chance this is 90% Whedon.
Right. And then the question becomes, like, in today's world, where it's not episodic, they kind of write an overarching story. How much of it was written, at least for season 1, before you stepped away anyway?
Good point.
Like, it might not affect the tone too much in season 1, but if there's a season 2, it could be
That's true.
different.
That's true. This reminds me a lot of. Dave, did you ever read the new universe stuff from Marvel in the 80s?
Wait, the 80s?
Yeah, the Marvel New Universe. With like the Star Brand and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yes.
So they had this Jim Shooter's brilliant idea for the
Shooter
30th anniversary of Marvel was to completely reboot the universe with brand new characters and nothing related to them. They eventually talked him out of it and decided just to do another like side universe.
Right.
It had some interesting ideas, but it wasn't, the marketplace probably wasn't right for the time. But it started with this like the white event, they called it, where the sky turned white and all these people had powers like in the immediate aftermath. So they gave like an origin. It's actually a really good idea, but they actually gave an origin to this universe. So anytime someone does something like that, it makes me think of Marvel New Universe.
Maybe
Well,
that's where Whedon got it from.
Well, considering he lifted Buffy the Vampire Slayer from Kitty Pryde.
Yeah. But so Whedon left in January 2021, and it was announced that British screenwriter Philippa Goslett would be replacing him as the showrunner. Her stuff is mostly religious, and this show is not based around a religion. So
He left 3 months ago. Less than 3 months ago.
He was, I guess, basically gone.
This is all him. His name just won't be on it.
Yeah.
At least these first couple episodes, because it takes time to turn around a TV show. I bet most of the first season has his fingerprints all over it.
Oh, I'm sure. The thing is, let's see. It says in November 2020 it was when he was announced that he was exiting the series, and he said from exhaustion. Exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like
only celebrities have to leave work for being exhausted. You ever notice that?
Or to spend more time with their families, right?
Yes, I'm exhausted. I'm like,
yeah.
Welcome to the fucking club. I'm exhausted too.
Yeah, but so like, but the thing that I'd be really sad to see this go downhill again.
Didn't it?
Because it's so far. I mean, the first episode is so engaging. I cannot wait to see what the overall storyline is, because there's a lot of irons in the fire already, and the characters are really fun to watch. Like, they're fun to see what they do. And there's this whole there's a lot of, it's like John Wick. There's a lot of stuff going on in the back that hasn't been explained yet.
Love stuff like that.
There's a beggar king in this.
The Beggar King. What a great name.
So it's gonna be interesting. But again, like, they're giving it to this woman, this showrunner, who I can understand why a show that revolves around women would be given to a woman writer and producer. There's no problem with that. But all she's done is super religious stuff. That is what makes me worry. because again, this show is not religious based. There's no the plot has no quote unquote religion around it. It's gonna have aliens in it, I guess, but you know.
So here's something interesting that I'm thinking about it. He left the show in January.
It was announced he'd leave in November 2020, but yeah, he's gone
Oh,
as
so
of January.
wait, so in November they announced that he was leaving.
Yeah.
So that was before, like, the only accusations against him that everyone heard at that point was just what
Ray Fisher.
Ray Fisher was saying at that point. That wasn't like,
Yeah, but who was he? This show is HBO Max. That's Warner Media.
right. I'm saying, think about that. So Warner knew something,
Oh, they do.
even though they said they investigated and didn't find anything.
Correct.
Mm.
Because then what were they going to do? Retroactively fire him again from the movie? Like
Right.
this whole we did an investigation. Well, what is a multinational conglomeration going to do? They can't lock him in jail.
Right.
Like they fired him. They could say, "Oh, we didn't find anything. By the way, he's no longer working with us." So of course they know he's a piece of crap. But like, what? This is why it never made sense to me. This whole, oh, we're doing our own investigation, and what it would be the outcome of it?
Right.
Yeah.
They can turn state's evidence. Like, I mean, it doesn't make sense. So I mean, this is definitely that. It's all related. Of course, it's all related.
Well, yeah.
know?
There's too again. Not again, but there's too many people coming forward now, right? So
Right.
Well,
but-
the Buffy cast certainly did him in.
yeah,
Right? When none of them are willing to, nobody is willing to step up for this guy except for Jeff Johns, and that was a mistake.
who was
It's
the
not
one
a
that
book.
played the other Slayer?
Eliza Dushku.
Yeah. Now I remember hearing that she had problems on set,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the next show,
Dollhouse.
Dollhouse, yes.
Yes.
Dollhouse, and that like that show ended early, I think, because of something about that.
And the
No,
ratings weren't great, and yeah.
Well, ratings weren't great, but like there was something else. I remember some other scandal or something going on. I forget what it was. And like, I wonder if that has some, like, she hasn't come forward and said anything,
No, she
but
hasn't.
I know that I'm pretty sure I remember reading that she had had problems with being assaulted. So I don't know.
In my humble opinion, she may have a non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is the other problem with situations like this.
Mm-hmm. Hollywood's shitty.
It is apparently, Jesus. Anyway, so yeah, the new producer is this woman who's only done religious stuff. I did find out that the Whedon was co-writing the scripts alongside Jane Espenson and Doug Petrie. Doug Petrie.
That's the
So-
showroom. That's the showroom. Only 3 writers.
Three co-writing the script. Yeah, it's just Jane Espenson and Doug Petrie, and then you've
So
got-
these were all done long before they even shot, and like
Yeah.
this is his stories. She will be the showrunner. She's in charge of making sure it all gets done now.
but at least they'll have 2 other writers that helped write the other.
It is, but Whedon was the showrunner. Like, when you're working for someone, you're writing what they want you to write, right?
Yeah.
Like it's his. I mean, like for this season at least, it's still his show. And I mean, like honestly, the guy did make good TV shows. Like Avengers is a good movie. Like Firefly is a good show. Like, I mean, it's
Oh, Firefly is like, geez. I mean, look at the cult following.
Yeah.
The writing on that was amazing.
it's ahead of its time. Too ahead of its time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like we have this a lot. It's the whole artist thing is where do you separate the art from the artist? Some people have bigger, I mean, like, and that's really depends on the consumer. Like everyone's got a different level of what they'll accept from, like how all humans are complicated. What level of complication takes you out,
Yeah.
and that's up to each individual, viewer to decide that,
Yeah.
because I mean, Joss ain't going to jail. I mean, he's not. He's not. Like,
Not
there's
yet.
no. Well, I mean, no.
We're-
I don't think he's. They. Nothing has come out that he's been charged. I mean, like, if the man gets arrested, that's a different story. I mean,
Right.
there's being a piece. There's being a jerk, and then there's like
True.
Harvey Weinstein,
Yeah.
right?
True.
And we haven't heard anything like that from the most. Now, unless I'm wrong, the most of what we heard is he's an asshole, right? And Hollywood's been run by assholes since 1895. So.
But there is the point where he's literally losing all the properties that
Oh, he's
he was
done.
going to, yeah.
He's done. Like the Warner Brothers investigation, it'll be a long time before
Anyone
he,
hires him.
yeah. And I could see him maybe getting on in a writer's room in about 5-6 years. But as far as like show running, it's a long time. And he's already in
Yeah.
his 50s. So I mean he's probably done.
Yep,
He should write books under a pen name.
Yeah.
he probably does. All right. Well, let's move on. Still within the Warner Brothers camp. A movie that, I actually was starting to lose faith was actually going to come out. But,
New Mutants.
no. Black Adam actually started filming this week.
Yay! They probably all got their COVID shots and they're all ready to
The
go.
Rock
so-
says they've got the Rock was talking about his COVID shots on his Instagram. So yes.
Yes.
I have so
On
much
his
respect for that
Instagram?
man. It's amazing.
Oh, he's amazing.
On his Instagram, he put a picture of the, what do they call that thing? The
Oh, the slate.
Yes, yeah. It says Black Adam on it. Yes. So yes, they began filming. So
He has
eventually we'll see this movie.
I think he's been attached to this role, and I'm not kidding. I think he's been attached to it since like 2007.
I feels like he's been attached like as soon as Man of Steel came out. I think
think
he was
it's-
attached.
I think it's long before that. I think he's literally had his finger in the spot, and I'm not kidding, since 2007, 2008, something like that. Like, this has been a long time coming for The Rock. And to be honest, I'm excited for this movie. I think he's going to do a good job.
He should have released a YouTube short on it.
Like
Maybe he
Ryan
will.
Reynolds.
like Deadpool. He could have
Did it-
gotten it much earlier if he'd done that.
Yeah, but it's not like it's not like The Rock hasn't been busy.
True.
True. And that's
You're a devious man, O'Grady.
so it's one of those things where it's like, yes, so you're talking over 13 years associated with this role. And he's been busy, but it also proves that Warner Brothers isn't in a hurry to make these movies.
They don't know what they're doing a lot of the time. Like, they aren't in a hurry, and they are like, okay. So the one thing I've learned from watching the Super Void Cinema stuff on YouTube, is the one YouTube channel I'm like super addicted to, is that Warner Brothers loves to spend money on movies that never get made.
Huh.
Yeah.
They love it. I bet they spent over $1 billion on these DC Comics movies that never saw the light of day.
Yeah. Is it like a lost leader kind of thing, or?
I think it's just poor management, to be honest with you. Like,
Oh, poor management with Warner.
that's what I'm saying. It's like they do this. They spend money on these movies that never. I mean, every studio does. It's fine, but they just seem to do it more than others.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, they'll get like a good show going or something, and they'll cancel it.
Yeah.
Like they just, even when they've got a good thing, they tend to destroy it.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. I mean, like, it just seems like this is kind of what Warner Brothers does. Like, they've never been able to quite. We still don't know what their plan is. Right? They're like, oh, the Snyderverse is gone. It's like, not really. I mean, like, maybe he's not going to be in charge of it anymore, but I mean, like, he's still in the DNA of it all.
The rumor is that Flashpoint resets the universe, but what does that even mean?
What does that mean? Like, yeah,
They even did that with what Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. I mean, that's their answer for everything now. Every time, every small show they want to do, it's going to be because of Flashpoint.
I mean, like, and it's okay. I mean, I don't hate that. I mean, it gives us a jumping on point.
But it can be overused, really.
That's
Yeah.
what DC does. Like, every time they want to do stuff, they literally reboot their universe.
Yep.
right? I mean, this is like we've been seeing this since 1985, and it's happened multiple times. Multiple times.
Yeah,
So
but
I
the
mean, like,
Flashpoint thing's getting used a lot more. Like,
it was in the comics too, though, and now it's just transferred. Like any good IP farm, they think, oh, this will work. We can just bust this out.
and keep mining it and mining it.
You know, the Jeff Johns really screwed his career up too, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know, the Jeff Johns story is just going to get a lot of player now. And to be quite frank, Flashpoint, it's not that great a story.
Right.
Like, there's some really good elements of it. All the Batman stuff was really good in Flashpoint. The Thomas Wayne as Batman, the Martha Wayne as Joker, like that whole thing was awesome. The idea of the war between Amazon and the Amazons and Atlantis is an interesting idea in a vacuum. But that's like it. Like a lot of what came out of it, it wasn't like the New 52 was great. I mean, it's pretty much looked back on as a kind of a failure.
Right. Well, they had to do Rebirth in order to fix New 52. I
Right,
mean,
because everything came out. There was some good stuff that came out of New 52, right? Like Josh Fialkoff's I, Vampire, great book. Jeff Lemire on Swamp Thing, Jeff Lemire on Animal Man, great book. Scott Snyder's Swamp Thing, great book. But there's a lot of stuff that's an absolute mess.
well, they ruined Wonder Woman. They turned her from intelligent, like ambassador and wise woman and warrior into just a a muscle hand.
I don't know. That could have been happening for a while. I mean, like, you can make that argument that was going on for a while before that, though. Like, they had her killing Maxwell Lord a good decade prior to that.
Yeah.
Like, that's not new. The only thing that I think it was Brian Azzarello brought to that was that she's a god, essentially. She's the daughter of Zeus.
Yeah,
That was the major change.
I never liked that either. I mean, but
I never liked that she was fashioned from clay, because that always seemed to be a story that someone tells their child. Like, it was very, that even in a comic world felt like that felt cheap to me.
well, yeah, but if you go by Greek mythology, that's
It is.
kind of like
No, it is.
acceptable.
But also, so is Zeus humping everything that moves.
Right.
True. Yeah, that does happen all the time.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, like, it all works to me. I mean, Diana's still Diana, and it all depends on who's writing her. But like, yeah, I don't know, man. This whole thing, I'm very suspect on everything comes out. I'm very excited Rock's making another movie to go back to the point.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I went way
And,
around.
and,
Yes, we did.
and making a movie we all want to see.
Yes.
Yeah. No,
Which is
I'm
new.
in.
Wait. Us wanting to see a Rock movie is new?
I like seeing the Rock movie. I got a soft spot. I'm a wrestling guy. I got a soft
Yeah.
spot for the Rock.
It's not just
I
that
don't-
he's really funny.
He is really funny. Like, he's got great charisma. He's a good actor, right? He knows his lane. Man gets up at 4 a.m. to go work out at the gym when he really doesn't have to every day. It's respectable.
My favorite scene of him is in Rampage when he's choking out a guy, one of the guards, and the guard's like grabbing his arm. He's like, "No, don't fight it, man. That's a big arm." It's like, it's just as he's passing out. I mean, he's got some comedic timing, and
Mhm.
and he's just I mean, it's fun to watch. Even Rampage, I love watching him.
Yeah, he's great.
He's one of those guys. You said it best, JD. He knows his lane. Like, he knows he's not. I'm trying to think of a great actor.
he's not Fred Astaire. He's not like
Fred Astaire is the
Sorry.
first person that comes to your mind. The song and dance man. You're right.
am-
He's definitely not Fred Astaire. He's not doing musical numbers. I'm
Actually,
stunned.
I could
I'm
see him
stunned
doing
that that's where you went with that.
because I'm
Yeah,
old.
He's not a great actor. He's not Fred Astaire, but I don't think Fred Astaire is considered a great actor, to be honest with you.
Mr.
Like, I thought you were
Christopherson? I don't know. I mean, like,
Your second is Chris Christopherson, the country singer. Like,
not
I was
the
thinking-
country singer.
I was trying to think of an Academy Award winner.
I was
but-
gonna say like Marlon Brando or
there you
something
go,
like that, or
Brando, or
Gene Hackman,
Hackman.
if you will. Like, yes, he's
Charlie Chaplin.
yeah, he's really good at what he does. He's Arnold, but better. He's a better actor than Arnold.
oh
He
yeah,
is. Oh,
know?
definitely.
And Arnold was underrated, but I think Dwayne's better.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I agree. So we can't wait. Hopefully, you can't wait either. So, moving on, topic that we kind of talk about a lot on this show, the streaming wars. There's been a slight shift in the force of the streaming wars, um, just in the fact that now Netflix has become the primary output for Sony movies going forward,
Interesting.
for streaming going forward. Yeah, starting though in 2022, which is an interesting point because it made me think like when I first read the title, I'm like, oh, does that mean like so movies that were supposed to go in the theater this year will end up on Netflix? And it's like, no, next year. So, and then
Well, they're also gonna live there permanently, I guess, for streaming. So like, if the movie go like if Spider-Man, what's the next one? No Way Home. Yeah, so No Way Home won't go to Disney Plus, even though it's firmly set in the Marvel universe. It'll go to Netflix.
How does that work?
Sony owns the character.
Oh,
They license it to Marvel. Like they bring Marvel in to do co-productions. Marvel gets it because then they can use Spider-Man because all Feige really cares about is getting Spidey in those Avengers movies.
I know, but Disney should just buy Sony already.
I don't think they can. I mean, Sony's not like 20th Century Fox. Like Sony's,
I know.
Sony's like I think we underestimate just how viable Sony as a corporation really is.
Oh yeah, no.
I mean, they're not just
just movies. They
hardware, computers, printers,
television,
PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of the most expensive camcorders.
Yes,
like and TVs.
Yes.
So,
yeah, they're not going anywhere. Yeah, I know. But just buy the rights back. How much could they? You know?
They're not. Here's the thing: they're not for sale. Right? Sony's not. If Sony was hurting like 20th Century Fox was hurting, yes, but they're not. They make money off these Spider-Man movies.
Everything's for sale, JD. You're for sale. I'm for sale.
If it was, they would have bought. You don't think Disney's tried to buy? You don't think Disney's tried to do that?
Oh, they must. They must have by this point.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like Spider-Man.
As soon as Marvel bought, as soon as Disney bought Marvel, I'm sure that those talks went.
Well, I'm sure when the Amazing Spider-Man 2 failed, and they brought Kevin Feige into the fold, he said, "Why don't we just take this off your hands?" And Sony said, "Shut up.
Yeah,
this is ours. Help us with this, or we'll keep doing bad."
This is true.
You know, and it's like that's why. I mean, this is the best we could hope for, right? Because they got the animation license back, but they're never going to give that film license up. No. What else has Columbia put out?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
Think of anything.
I think the Bond movies still, but I mean, like other than that, this is what they do. They make Spider-Man movies.
There's only so many Bond movies you can put out per year.
One every couple of years.
Yeah.
Right?
So
not enough. Yeah, it's never gonna happen now. Now Sony has no reason to, because it's gonna be a big blow to their film division if they do. They're gonna have to be like struggling to sell Spider-Man back. You okay, Dave?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, I'm fine. Sorry. Gotta
technical aspects are running the Superhero Speak podcast this evening.
Pretty much. We've had worse.
Superhero Speak brought to you by Gremlins.
Yes. Yes. So
Gremlins 5 in space.
So yeah, this will be interesting. It'll be an interesting partnership, I think, going forward. We'll see how it plays out. I don't think right now it doesn't seem like it's a big deal.
No.
I think it just helps Netflix out really in the long run.
Helps Sony and Netflix too. Netflix has become Netflix has kind of become what HBO used to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
With putting on all the original programming. Now, I think everything's going to eventually go back to Netflix because I think we did it, guys. I think we hit the peak of our streaming wars.
I think so.
Well,
I think Paramount waited too long.
Yeah. I mean, there are a few players I think will. I mean, we're gonna wind up with 3 or 4.
Three.
Probably.
It's going to be like network TV all over again.
You think?
I do. It's going to get up 3. Like we had ABC, NBC, and CBS.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have like Netflix, Disney, and then whatever anybody else can come up with. Whatever hodgepodge of Warner and
I can't think of like.
the Peacock.
I mean, Hulu is like a combination of CBS and other
Disney.
stuff.
Disney. I mean, Hulu kind of was it. I think a lot of stuff will wind up finding its way back to Hulu. To be honest with
Because
you,
Hulu's kind of all over the place. They
Hulu is all
show
over the place.
they show stuff. They show animation from Crunchyroll, and from Funimation. They show a lot of CBS stuff.
A lot of ABC stuff, a lot of NBC stuff. Like
Yeah.
Hulu is this like Swiss territory, you know, where things can still exist. I think Hulu's going to wind up getting a lot of this stuff back because I mean, everyone thinks they can have their own streaming service, and it's already not working.
Hulu reminds me of the war between Fandango and Moviefone. Moviefone was the external company that where you could find out where all the movies were and buy tickets and all that.
Hello,
Like-
welcome to Movie Phone. Sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, it was, they were the first, they were
were.
the first place you could actually call and say what theater you want to go to, and they would get, and then the automated thing would give you the list of.
Genius
movies are there.
idea.
Yeah, but then the studios didn't like that, and so they formed Fandango, and basically over time destroyed Moviefone because they wanted that money. They didn't want a third person to have it. This is what they tried to do with Netflix.
Mhm.
It's just that Netflix played it really, really freaking savvy and put out all their own. They made really good deals, and they put out all their own material now, all their own movies and shows, and they've got enough money and enough staying power to wait it out while the others fail.
Since its inception, Netflix has been one of the most forward-thinking, progressively minded companies ever. In an
Yeah.
era where you were still going to the video store.
Well, they're the
paying-
one. They're the ones
Yeah.
that killed Blockbuster.
Yes,
Yes,
they are.
yes, they are, and that is something that Blockbuster in the 1990s was one of the most powerful corporations in the world. Blockbuster Entertainment was huge, and then Netflix killed them. They killed them with convenience. And then
Yep.
but they were smart enough not to do, because Blockbuster did the same thing in the 80s with mom and pop video stores, right? But Netflix saw, okay, we can't do this forever. We have to be growing,
Yeah.
right? Blockbuster was never concerned with growing.
No.
Like their mind of growing was just, they wanted to be like Starbucks. They wanted a Blockbuster video on every street corner.
They tried doing the mail-in stuff near the
Right.
end.
Yeah, but I mean,
Only
Netflix,
after Netflix.
Netflix had been doing it. And then when they were starting to do it, Netflix started thinking about streaming.
Yep.
Right. And then when
They're
Netflix
first.
got into streaming, they said, all right, we can't, everyone else is going to figure this out. So we got to become our own studio.
And you know where Netflix got the idea from streaming? Like,
No, they
and
don't
this
actually.
is like one of the big things that isn't really talked about in the tech world is almost every good piece of software that you have right now, almost every technological advance you have is because of porn sites.
Yes.
Porn drives the technical
Porn
world.
drives the tech world, at least.
Porn-
since the
Porn
internet.
drove the independent film world too. Like I remember the Canon XL1 was the digital camera, was the Swingers was the first like real film that was shot on the Canon XL1 video camera. It was the first like digital video camera to make film, and it was like the porn camera forever.
Because everybody wants
right?
the highest quality.
At the
most
time, that was the
streams.
highest. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause porn is a machine, man. It just knocks stuff out. Like
Yeah, yeah.
they have
And
to
pe-
keep that machine moving so
And
fast.
people will pay.
Yes.
Like
I'm
it's
not
an
surprised with
unending
that.
money machine. So like Netflix got the idea of streaming because the first people to start looking at streaming online video was the porn people. So
Yeah.
Because streaming takes away the stigma of getting porn,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Because you can do it from your own home. You don't have to go to that big I remember when I never got to go there, but we used to have this mom and pop video store by my house, and they had a porn section, but it was all walled off to the side, and they like
Oh yeah.
you were like clear, like everybody could clearly see you going to the porn section. You go, look at that guy, he's going to get a porn. Like, and there's a shame factor to it,
Yeah.
right? Or they like, man, my wife was telling me about her friend got a book at the library. It was a romance book, shirtless dude on the cover, and they gave it to her in a paper bag, and it was like, come on, man. But I mean, like, there is like this whole shame aspect to anything like that, and streaming at home solves
Yeah.
that problem.
Yeah,
One of
no,
my,
no more getting VHS videos in like, packages on your front door and marked adult diapers.
D-
Like,
You speak with authority on that, John.
I'm sorry. I
One of
just,
one of my first jobs was working at West Coast Video, and having to when I was working, and especially if I was working with one of the girls, I was the one that had to go back into that section and put the videos back. Yeah, and restock the shelves there. So yeah, I'm quite familiar with those sections.
That's what I was saying, man. I mean, like, yeah, it does not surprise me at all to hear that porn drives the tech business.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. So, and
Wow, we took a left turn there.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did. So the last article, we never talk about this show, but it is based on a comic book, and I don't know if either of you watched the show, but I didn't. I mean, I knew it was going to come to an end soon, but apparently, they have announced the premiere date for the final season of The Walking Dead.
I could never
Right,
get
no,
into this.
It was as much as I liked Invincible, The Walking Dead was the most depressing comic book in the world. I just never got into it.
So yeah, that'll be August 22nd. I guess none of us will be watching it, but
Does that mean the New York Comic Con badges will finally have something other than Walking Dead on them?
Yes.
hopefully, maybe. Well,
It's like when I go to a comic book
next year.
convention, I want to see Superman on my badge. I don't want to see The Walking Dead
I'm sure.
5 years running.
I'm sure.
It's a big show, man.
I'm sure
Yeah,
they've
apparently.
already paid for the badges this year, but the next year, hopefully, it'll be something else.
Invincible.
I hope that would be
Oh.
nice.
Well, it's
That would be-
Kirkman. It's all Kirkman money.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, then we won't spend much time on it since none of us watched the show. But for those who are watching, or those who watched the show, August 11th. So, I'm sorry, August 22nd.
The final season where everybody dies in the end, I'm sure. Because like you said, it was really freaking depressing.
Well,
I
they
did
ended- they
I
ended
did
the
try to
comic.
watch a couple of episodes and I just
They ended the comic already, which is like a couple years ago, which is why
Yeah.
I thought they already ended the show.
Hmm.
But no.
They did it
Oh.
ballsy in the comic. They just put out the final issue and didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it was like,
And
the
like,
end,
they-
this is it.
And they like flash forward like 5 years or something, like, and basically they've rebuilt society in the book.
what they solved the zombie problem or
No, they live with the zombies now. It's not,
what?
Anyway.
Necrophilia is acceptable in that situation? I don't
Just live
understand.
with. He didn't say boink the zombies.
Well, Mr. Adult Diapers obviously would go there.
Yo, where's your head at today, John? Not that I have to really ask.
I'm trying to figure out how that works. I'm sorry. Man, I should be drinking right now. I think that's the problem. I don't have anything to drink.
All right. On the final article of the week.
Talking about things I'm not really sure I care about at all.
So, Phoebe Waller-Bridge has been cast as a female lead in a movie that starts filming not until July of next year, and that is Indiana Jones 5.
They're bringing back the aliens.
I have no what's the deal here?
So, if Indiana Jones, right? I saw someone do the math on this on Twitter, so I can't take credit for it. So, if Indiana Jones is born 1899, canonically speaking, and Harrison Ford is 78 years old, so roughly we're talking Indiana Jones 1970, mid 70s, mid to late 70s. Someone said this is going to be a story of Indiana Jones goes to see Star Wars. I had a laugh, but realistically speaking, It's going to have to be something in the 70s. So what are we talking about in the 70s?
I
They
don't
they
know.
could they
Well-
could have him go see Star Wars because John Williams is doing both. He
Well-
did both scores.
Well, Phoebe Waller-Bridge was the voice of that robot in the Solo movie L337.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, fun!
there is a Star Wars tie-in there.
Jeez. There's a lot of Star Wars tie-ins.
Tons.
Is he going to go watch it and be like, I look like that guy?
So seriously though, what could they possibly do with a 1970s set Indiana Jones film?
Come up with something even more ridiculous than nuking the fridge.
Well, I mean, like, I get what they were trying for, because sci-fi films were, because again, in the 40s, the 30s, 40s, it was all like the serials and that kind of action. In the 50s, they tried to do the whole B-movie sci-fi thing. So what in this, I mean, like, we can't have Indiana Jones versus The Godfather, right? Or Indiana Jones in space. Like, what can we do with the 70s? Keeping in like line with what the Indiana Jones movies kind of are.
And what's left? You
I
got
do-
the
I
Ark of the
don't-
Covenant. They did the Ark of the Covenant. They did
Well, they
the
could
Chris-
do a million things. They could do him fighting Atlantis and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
Loch Ness monster.
they could, yeah. There's a million things. The Spear of Destiny. Like, there's a zillion things they could do. But like, the thing about it is like the Raiders Lost Ark is like the B movie. It's like the Saturday morning serial.
Yes.
Like to Christopher the Candles, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was like the 50s B movie sci-fi thing.
Mhm.
So what can we do in the 70s? Like, what can they ape?
it's
Jaws? A little self-referential from Spielberg.
I don't know, because I mean it's you have explosion of sci-fi movies in the 70s. You also have what, gangster? Isn't that like the birth of the gangster movies is also in the 70s?
No,
And
they had
Kung
oh
Fu.
yes, exploitation movies.
Exploitation movies, yeah, kung fu movies, and but how do you
I-
do that with Indiana Jones? How do you make that work?
Especially with him being as old as he is.
Very-
It's like,
it's very
yeah,
simple. Cast
everybody-
it, bring Ip Man in.
Oh, Ip Man. Oh,
Ip
yeah.
Man, bring in
Uh-huh.
Ip Man and have him. And Short
Bruce
Round
Lee.
grew up. Short Round grew up to be Ip Man.
Or Bruce Lee. I mean,
But Bruce Lee's dead in the 70s. Bruce Lee died in the 70s.
oh, that's right. He was
Yeah.
60. Yeah.
So, but yes,
Ip Man.
you can do, like, I'm okay with that if they wind up going exploitation film and do a martial arts Indiana Jones movie. It's stupid, but I think the idea of Indiana Jones 5 is stupid.
Yeah, I don't understand why.
What they're thinking.
Yeah, why they.
I
thought
know
this
what
was
they're
a good
thinking. They
idea.
think they can make money, but like, is this the right thing to do?
But I don't even think the diehard fans want this.
No,
Yeah.
I don't think you know who wants this. Harrison Ford, and
Yeah,
the two of them, Spielberg and Lucas.
You
I don't
think he wants that? You think
He
Harrison
wouldn't be
Ford
doing.
wants
He
it?
wouldn't be doing it otherwise.
yeah.
Harrison Ford doesn't do what he doesn't want to do.
True.
Not anymore.
I guess.
I mean, like,
No.
yeah, I mean, since the mid '80s, he's been like, I do what I want. I'm Harrison Ford,
He only did Force Awakens so they would kill him off.
right?
Well,
They
yeah, and I think-
they begged him to do that.
Yeah.
Begged.
Begged him to die.
No, he wanted to die. He wanted to die in Jedi.
He wanted to die in Empire Strikes Back.
Hmm.
He
Yes,
wanted that
that's
to
true.
be the end of it.
Yeah. Which is a little short-sighted of him at that point, but like, I get it.
So you think he's gonna pull a Sean Beam and get killed in this one too?
No, I think he likes Indiana Jones. I don't think he actually likes Han Solo,
Right.
but I think he actually likes Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't even. He's so old. You can't even like. Do
He's almost
anything with-
80.
Right.
Yeah. He's not gonna go running after anything.
No, they're gonna have a stunt double and like,
Well,
do
no,
all
but,
this
like
stuff, but
even so, you can't even like pretend that like a guy his
Yeah,
age
you
is going to
can.
run after. Well, okay, so what? They gave him bionics. The
Hey, I
bionic
wa-
man.
I-
There you go.
I watched John McClane go from being a guy who had to worry about glass on the floor to walking on airplanes.
Yeah, but again,
I'm not saying
like,
that's the way to go. I'm
the
saying
last
like
the last movie of that series was also quite ridiculous because he just became
Yes, that's what I said.
indestructible.
He was walking on airplanes. That's what I'm like. He's literally
And-
running on an airplane ring in the last one.
Yeah.
and jumping like 3 stories down or something
Right.
like that.
And that was the thing about John McClane is he was the most human of the action heroes. So
Mhm.
we totally went away from that. But Indiana Jones, I don't know. Like he drinks from the he drinks from the Fountain of Youth or whatever. You know, they could find a way to make it work. I just don't know if I want them to.
If only they'd picked a better actor to play his son. They
You know,
could've made
Shia-
something work.
Shia LaBeouf, Jesus Christ.
You know, the more you read about that guy and how messed up his childhood was, I don't even like making fun of Shia
No,
LaBeouf
I'm not
anymore.
making
You know,
fun of him. It's
no, I
just-
know, but I mean, like, because I thought the same thing. Because he's absolutely terrible in that movie. He's
Right.
dreadful. And then you realize if you read about the guy, and you're like, oh, you never stood a
I
chance.
have nothing against him personally. It just he wasn't the best choice to take over. The
Oh, he was
role.
big in the moment. He was
Yeah.
With all of his troubles, being in Hollywood is the absolute last thing he needed.
Yeah.
yes, 100%. And I feel for him
Exactly.
because like the pressure was put on that, like to be. And I don't know, like, is there? I'm okay with leaving Indiana Jones alone. Like you have
Yeah.
3 really good movies and one that I can ignore ever happened.
Right.
Now you're gonna have 2 that you have to ignore.
I don't know, I bet this one's gonna be better
I guess it has to be, right?
because that last one's not very good.
So you think the last one was Genesis and this one's going to be Dark Fate?
Sure.
That's not even. I don't even know if that's good.
They're both kind of bad. So I mean,
Yeah.
like,
No,
Yeah, I
Genesis
guess-
was definitely the worst of them, though, right? And then Dark Fate was a little bit better, not great, but a little bit better.
see, I think
And-
Terminator 3 might be worse than Genesis, to be honest with you. Terminator 3 is dog turds.
Yeah, but Genesis was just like,
But
I mean,
everyone
why
ignores,
even?
Everyone
I-
ignores the 4th one.
Isn't Genesis the 4th one?
Yeah,
No, Genesis is the 5th one, guys.
What's the 4th one?
With Batman.
That is Genesis with Christian Bale.
yeah.
No,
No,
Yes.
Christian Bale's the third one.
Salvation.
Salvation, right.
That's it.
Salvation.
That's it.
Salvation's
I
the
get those
4th one.
confused. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's 3 that suck.
Mm.
Yeah,
Salvation has moments where that aren't. Salvation comes from a good place, but it's just not done very well.
yeah.
Right.
And the bad
Mig-
CGI.
Yeah, bad CGI, and Christian Bale is more famous for freaking out on the lighting guy who was literally fucking with the light while he's trying to give a performance, which you're not supposed to do. So that was bad. But like, yeah, man, those movies, they should have. Terminator 2 is a perfect action movie. Why
Yeah.
did we have to go on?
We
You
did.
know, we didn't.
Because money. Because
is
they
money.
like money. They want
Well, that's why
money.
that was my big problem with Terminator 3 is like Terminator 3 completely, the end of Terminator 3 completely invalidates Terminator 2, which is by far and away a better movie.
Yep.
It's like, why did we have to now? Because now the die has been cast. Now we have to keep making these things. Now we're in a cycle of hell.
Right.
Yes. And then Dark Fate just is like, oh, those movies didn't happen. This is what really happened after 2.
Well, that's
But then it
because
was
Genesis was so bad that they had to erase that timeline because
So we're now in like the Halloween. So now we're in Halloween, right?
Yes,
Oh,
we are.
Halloween.
man.
Everything like,
Oh.
Halloween. It all just kind of bases off Halloween.
Halloween's an
Originally-
inception. Like,
Well, you go, it is because you go Halloween, then Halloween 2, you forget Halloween 3 because that's something completely different, and then Halloween 4 and Halloween 5. But wait, there's more. Halloween H2O says no. Halloween's 4 and 5 didn't happen, but Halloween 3 also didn't happen either. So
Right.
H2O, that's Halloween 20 years later, and then you have the Michael Myers is in the found footage movie, which I can't remember. Halloween Resurrection, I forget. So you have 2 divergent timelines off the Halloween movies.
Mhm.
Then, just a couple years ago, said no. Halloween 2 didn't even happen.
Yep.
So now you have Halloween 40 years later with those 2 movies. So you have 3 divergent timelines based off the original Halloween movie, and that's not including the Rob Zombie Halloween,
which is its own timeline too.
which is its own timeline completely.
Yep.
So, and who
But
knows what Halloween 3 was doing.
The season of the witch.
But that
Yeah.
but it's also a perfect example, and I think the Terminator movies, all of them are perfect examples of the creators have an idea of what they want to do, and then the movie studios take over. So like with Halloween, I know that Carpenter wrote 1 and 2 as a single story. Like if you watch them back to back, it
There's
makes sense.
one movie. Yep.
It's one Halloween night. And then the idea was every Halloween wanted a different Halloween story.
And that doesn't
Why
make
Season
sense.
of the Witch.
But that's how Season of the Witch should have been Halloween 2. Like you can't start an anthology movie on part 3 because you clearly established a chain.
I get
right.
that.
So that's why that didn't work. Because if they'd have gone Season of the Witch as Halloween 2, maybe that would have worked better. But
Right.
Season of the Witch also sucks. There's some really great concepts in Season of the Witch. They're very poorly executed. My cousin showed that to me when I was 3 years old.
So
that is why I am the way I am.
The reason why you don't like that is because the Silver Shamrock thing is so catchy, it's still in your head.
So then the movie that movie bombs, and Carpenter needed money, and they offered to buy the rights of Michael Myers, and boom, we get 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then he decides to return and do H2O, and then the next one, and it was just like, okay,
H2O is not a bad movie. The next one with Busta Rhymes is god awful.
Yeah. So.
And then who did it was somebody like reasonably famous did the new reboot or the deboot, which throws out that Laurie is even Michael Myers' sister.
Yeah.
The deboot. That's an interesting.
It's so thank you. It's so the Halloween movies are just the timeline is so convoluted. We could get into Indiana Jones.
Maybe Indiana Jones 5 erases.
Well, here's what's weird about Indiana Jones. Temple of Doom is a prequel.
Yep.
So right away you're going with what is going on here? That was a weird choice to begin with.
Yes. No, I agree.
And then in Last Crusade, we bring back the Nazis. Because really, who else were you going to use?
Because everyone liked the Nazis in the first one.
Well, nobody really liked the Nazis.
No,
we like seeing the Nazis. We enjoy seeing them lose.
We're rooting for them.
Maybe this time they get that wily Dr. Jones.
No, John, stop.
Maybe this time.
John, you're going to get us kicked off YouTube. Stop.
Oh, jeez.
Again.
Everybody gets kicked off of YouTube.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, I'm in team. I don't need to see another Indiana Jones movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Especially because the first 3 are so damn good.
No, definitely. All right. We're definitely all in agreement here. We want to know what you guys think. Indiana Jones 5, yes or no?
Halloween 3.4, yes or no? And when are we going to reboot?
And do we want another Die Hard?
Season of the Witch.
Let's not reboot Season of the Witch. No.
See, Season of the Witch I've actually thought about like stealing liberally from Season of the Witch.
That
There's
actually,
some really cool concepts in Season of the Witch.
There's some good horror. Yeah.
In a reboot crazy Hollywood, that's actually not a bad idea because no one would see it coming.
Yeah. You and also something that should be remade, speaking of Carpenter, that I think would work pretty well. They Live.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
The Roddy Piper one?
Yeah.
John? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you mixed it with Q, then yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
I think
this is the time for that, right?
That's what I'm saying. I think that the environment that we're in now is more open to that movie than the 1987 world.
Yeah. To conspiracy theory.
The conspiracy theory type things and like the whole obey, I think that would play much better to a 21st century. I think one of Carpenter's biggest issues is that he was almost ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Right. Like everybody thought the thing sucked until like 1995. And then people went back and looked at the thing and went, this is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the thing is probably
it's one of the greatest practical effects ever.
It is literally the greatest practical effects horror movie ever made.
Yeah.
It stands up to this day and the characters are great. It holds up. But for some reason, everybody thought it sucked when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. It's an amazing movie. Right. And that's the same thing with They Live, same thing with Prince of Darkness, like Carpenter, and same with Big Trouble in Little China. Like these are all movies that that like had such great replay value that, and when they came out, people were like, this sucks. Like it just didn't, I don't know why, but he just didn't fit in his era.
Right.
But everyone looks back on those 4 movies and like, man, these are actually pretty good. Unlike Ghosts of Mars, which does suck. Oh, Ghost of Mars is bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, but Big Trouble in Little China was
Big Trouble
like
in
that's a
China.
cult classic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
cinematic masterpiece.
Yes.
It might be his best movie. I argue with a friend back and forth on whether The Thing or Big Trouble in Little China is his best movie, and I'm like, well, they both have such different goals
Yeah.
that it's hard to compare the two of them,
Oh,
but they both
man.
aged phenomenally.
I'm gonna go with Big Trouble.
Big Trouble's really good, but The Thing is such great horror, and it was such different horror than what was coming out in that era.
It had
Yeah,
one of the most
right?
perfect endings too.
It does have a phenomenal ending.
For a horror show, yeah.
Yes, so good.
Mhm.
Right? It's so much better than like the Body Snatchers remakes that got all the play, or all that kind of stuff. But I think maybe it's because in the 80s, like people were kind of laughing along with horror, right? And
Yeah.
like horror was kind of fun in the 80s, where there's nothing like fun about The Thing. The Thing is horrifying.
No, it's not. Yeah.
And it had a lot of Cronenbergism in it.
Very
Like,
that's a
people-
good call.
Yeah.
Tons of Cronenbergism. I like that. You have to kind of know, like you got to kind of get like the
Oh, yeah.
the stomach sequence is phenomenal. That is very Cronenberg. You're right. I
Yeah.
never know that before.
which disturbs people a lot.
Oh yeah. Well, Cronenberg specifically is super disturbing, but that sequence is like nightmare fuel.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. It's a really good movie, man. The dog is evil right away. No one suspects the dog. Dun, dun, dun.
But you know what's going to be really great nightmare fuel? An 80-year-old Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
All right. On that note,
He goes to roll underneath, and the Depends comes out, and he has to like reach back before it drops, and he pulls back his Depends. Harrison Ford would still beat my ass, so I shouldn't talk stuff. But
Yeah, no, he would do that. He's
on that note, boys and girls, I think we're wrapping up with some recommendations from our crew here. We'll start with John. I think I know what he's going to recommend, but we'll see.
I got a couple recommendations, like first off, if you haven't started watching Invincible yet, watch it. It's getting really, really good. Otherwise, The Nevers, give it a try. That the first episode was so good that I literally cannot wait for the second episode. And then I guess other than that, My Hero Academia this season is it's another one where like the first episode is out and I'm already hooked for the next season. So and a lot is going to change in this season. Really cool things are gonna happen in this season. So there's my recommendations. Also, I hear there's going to be a Kickstarter next week. So and speaking of which, JD.
So, like I said, Monday, Sundown, the Books of Jericho Volume 5 comes out. This is going to be my, this is the longest book I've ever written. It's twice as long as Harvest Moon was. I had a lot to say about vampires. I was very surprised. So I'm actually super, super fired up. I haven't put out a Jericho book in over a year, and I'm very excited to get this book out there. This is a good one. My editor wrote me back and said, "This is your best book." So I was really excited to hear that. So I'm fired up to get this one. There's going to be some cool stuff we give along with it. I've got some brand new short stories that'll accompany this thing, that will accompany the Kickstarter campaign. So I'm looking forward to kind of getting that ball rolling. And next week I'll get talking about that. We are going to give an option. There's a lot of dying people in this book. So
Isaac gonna die again.
Love when you die, because it means I get paid. So yeah, that's the big recommendation I've got is Books of Jericho Volume 5 hits Kickstarter on Monday. And I had another one that I forgot about because I was too busy selling.
It's good thing good problem to have. Yeah.
Well, as always, I would recommend you head on over to superheroespeak.com, where you can find the podcast every week. Comic book reviews by our good friend D Square. There are actually 2 new ones that have been put up this past week, and another one coming. And I haven't, like I said, I've been super busy, so I don't have any real recommendations other than yeah, I don't. I got, like, just be good to yourself. That's my recommendation. Be good to yourself, be good to others.
Sure.
On that note, boys and girls, as always, thanks for hanging out. Don't let your cape get caught in the door.